We gotta talk about this Twitch dumpster fire, because there are actually several different news stories happening here, though kind of at the center of it, you have Ethan Klein, Hasan Piker, and a creator by the name of Frogan. But where we'll start is with the fact that over the past few days, we've seen the platform accused of ignoring anti-Semitism by creators like Ethan Klein. Multiple content creators have been banned for what were deemed hateful comments, and all of the fallout that's come from that as creators and fans go after one another. Though technically, you could say that all of this started when Asmongold made his horrendous comments last week degrading Gazans, which as we covered on the show was something he apologized profusely for after getting banned. But then the spotlight on the situation shifted after Klein put out a video last Thursday called Twitch Has a Major Problem. And in that video, Ethan claims that Twitch harbors anti-Semites and actively ignores it. And as some evidence, he points out that Twitch recently unbanned Sneako and Fresh and Fit, right? Content creators that are unambiguously anti-Semitic. And then on top of that, he highlighted this segment from an official panel at TwitchCon where multiple Arab content creators alongside some non-Arabs made a tier list.
Well, it's a panel hosted by Frogan and 4 of her friends, in which they have a tier list where they rate people where good is Arab and bottom is loves Sabra. Sabra is a very popular hummus brand. I know in Israel, it's pretty much in everybody's refrigerator, and it's kosher. They're an American company, but they've been the subject of the pro-Palestine boycott. I mean, it's kind of just Arab good, Jew bad. I mean, I'm having a hard time seeing this any other way, and what's crazy is that I've been suspecting that Twitch has an anti-Semitism problem. Obviously, it started with Hasan platforming Houthi terrorists and showing unfettered terrorist propaganda on his channel.
And then along with that, Klein also added,
if they were really serious about anti-Semitism, Sneako and Fresh and Fit would never have been brought back to the platform. It's just a no-brainer, right? But they were welcomed back with open arms. And I mean, their whole platform essentially for the past year has just been anti-Semitism. I'm not even kidding. That's literally all they talk about.
Now, all of that then led to Frogan, who's a mod for Hasan Piker's stream and also streams herself, responding and writing on Twitter. Ethan Klein lied again and said myself, Arabs, which is the show, and our guest did a tier list where, quote, good equals Arab and Jew equals bad, which isn't what happened. Our tier list was, quote, who has Habibi pass, which is a meme tier list we did with a variety of creators. Here is the clip with the context. But then sharing a clip from that event and adding, the whole basis of my podcast, Arabs with Capri and Raf, is that we are all Arabs from different religious backgrounds. I am Muslim, Capri is Christian, and Raf is Jewish. Sabra hummus is objectively the worst hummus to exist and is the unfortunate standard of hummus in the US. Right, and so with that, you had some feeling that was a reasonable response, though others still called it a dog whistle to say Israeli without saying, especially given the context Klein gave earlier about its popularity in Israel. However, all of that was kind of just the tip of the iceberg, because Frogan ended up deciding just a day later to open up an entirely new can of worms after saying on stream,
I have no pity at all for any fucking soldiers. I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. U.S. military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD. The ones the ones I'm like whatever about the U.S. soldiers are the ones that like acknowledge that like what they did was wrong. They didn't know back then. Whatever. You're a good person in my book. The U.S. military that are like, yeah, like, you know, I did this back then, but now I know it's wrong. Like I'm changed. Like imperialism. This. You don't deserve the PTSD. But like any other motherfucker, you're joining them. You're like, oh my god, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
Now with that, she did eventually give a sorta apology, but even with that, many users pointed out that Twitch's hateful conduct specifically covers veteran status, so they argued that she should be banned. Arguing things like Twitch ban logic, Frogan saying military service members should get PTSD, no suspension, E-Girl streams softcore porn, 24-hour suspension, Asmongold calling Muslims inferior, 14-day suspension, being a Jew in Israel, unable to even create an account on the website, which I'll say we're gonna talk about that last bit at the end of this story. But like always with situations like this led to people digging up old clips of her saying other questionable things. Like with a clip where it appears that she may be hinting that her cousin may be involved with Hezbollah. But either way, by Monday, Twitch eventually cracked down and banned Frogan, which led many to believe that it was because she was wishing American veterans get PTSD. However, it appears that that is not the official reason. Instead, it appears that it was because of her comments on that TwitchCon panel, which is over a month ago, because they also banned the others on that panel, which also led to calls that it was being racist against Middle Eastern voices. And then on top of that, Twitch permanently banned Sneako, something that Klein felt was necessary if they wanted to tackle anti-Semitism activism seriously. And it also looks like the decision was in part taken because of pressure from the Anti-Defamation League, with the ADL even tweeting out a whole thread on this that started by saying, ADL spoke with the Twitch staff today after becoming aware of several concerning incidents on the social media platform and/or involving Twitch streamers in the past week, with them then going on to mention Frogan by name. And so with all this, we've seen Frogan not happy with her 30-day ban, saying 30-day ban for saying people like bottom of the barrel hummus, but other people get 2 weeks for advocating for the genocide of Palestinians. Got it. Or with that last part, a pretty obvious reference to Asmongold's ban. But with all of that said, like, that doesn't even bring us close to the end of all this. Because after the ban of Frogan and others on that panel, many of whom were avid pro-Palestinian voices, content creators like Hasan Piker began to react in frustration. And in particular to a lot of these controversies being spread and encouraged by various subreddits and the creators associated with them, to which Hasan said,
there is no winning in this battle. Okay? There is no winning in this battle. There's nothing you and I or this community or anyone can do. Nothing at all. This is precisely the reason why I just eat it every fucking day. Okay? For the past 12 months, this has been endless. Okay? When they can't get anything off of me and my statements, then they fucking turn around and, you know, pick apart different statements from the chat. If they can't do that, they go after people that are also pro-Palestinian, but have smaller audiences.
Hasan then went on to claim that many people's opinions are turned into a caricature of who they are. Like, for example, he says that Muslim people are often painted as anti-Semitic no matter what, and with that arguing that there isn't much he can do to change people's minds about it.
There is nothing I can do. There is nothing I can do. All I can do is just take it. Just like all Capri Sun Poppy and Frogan and everyone else that's getting banned in this mass ban wave, that all they can do is take it.
But then at almost the exact same time Hasan was making these statements on his stream, Klein was also streaming, with most of that criticizing Twitch for having an anti-Semitism problem, right? Talking about the recent unbans and criticizing people like Hasan for letting it become commonplace on Twitch. And among his problems with Hasan is that he's promoting this guy from Yemen who many think, Klein included, is actively involved in Houthi piracy. So this is others argue that at the very least, he's just a guy that is extremely anti-Semitic. Klein also blasted Hasan and others because of clips like this.
I think like anyone who does our general job, and especially someone like him who I only make $3 million a month. I'm middle class. He makes $30 million a month.
He's upper middle class.
He's upper middle class. And it's like, we won the lottery. Why are you bitching about the...
This motherfucker says you are rich, so why do you care about anti-Semitism? Also, like, Hasan is fucking as rich, like probably as rich as I am. Let's be honest. He downplays his wealth. He gets like the same concurrent viewers as we do, and he collects all the money straight to the dome himself. Okay, so like the same logic. Just say, hey, son, why are you getting so worked up about Gaza, man? We won the lottery. You're rich, dude. Just chill. Like, what a pathetic fucking response.
And honestly, I mean, for this part, it kind of just goes on and on from there because they're doing all these during live streams. We're talking about tons and tons of hours. I'll link to it down below. It's just something we can't cover point by point in this show. So if you want to do an even deeper dive, you have the tools at your fingertips. But then, as I promised I would come back and touch on, something that many people have pointed to as proof that Twitch was being anti-Semitic is the fact that Israelis weren't able to sign up to the site. Right, among others, you had political commentators like Destiny bring this up, and also Twitch said that it fixed it shortly afterwards, saying when signing up for a Twitch account, you can select an account verification method, email or phone, for added protection. Following the October 7th, 2023 attacks, we temporarily disabled signups with email verification in Israel and Palestine. And going on to claim we did this to prevent uploads of graphic material related to the attack and to protect the safety of users. But Twitch then going on to say that not letting users sign up with an email later on, that was a mistake and just an oversight and that it's fixed now. So this, as you might have noticed, there was a big community note on that. With that note claiming that Twitch's explanation is not true and that even phone verification signups weren't working. But with now all of that said and as things continue to play out in real time, I gotta pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts with this mess? Any and all of it. I know there are a number of things at play here. Any and all of it. I'd love to hear from you in those comments down below.